So I started my mission in Milan, which is kind of like dead center of the north, sort of. Because, like, you got your top of the boot, that part of the boot that extends outward. So Milan is like kind of dead center, right about there. And then I went to Torino, which is like to that direction west of it, and then I went to Savona, which is like at the bottom of that top of the boot, and that's like right by the Ligurian Sea, which is really weird because as a missionary you're supposed to stay away from the water, but I was so close to it all the time. Then I went the furthest south I ever went. Most of the time I stayed up in the top of the boot, but like after Savona I went to Forlì, which is like you got like you have the part of the boot that extends outward, and then you got like that little part down there before you get to the actual foot of the boot. And so about like halfway down, I think, is where the boundaries between Milan and Rome is. And so like if this is a boundary, like if this is where Rome is, then Forlì is like somewhere around here, somewhere on the same plane as Florence, I think. So I went there, and then I actually finished my mission in Como, which is up on the Swiss border, which is gorgeous. So kind of depending on where you are, just determines what the weather is. Like Milan is really extremely humid. Like I was there for a little bit in the summer, and there are no dryers. There are washers, but there are no dryers in Italy, so we had to dry all of our clothes, like just hanging them on a little thing. And it took forever for you to dry your clothes, and even then they didn't dry properly because it was just so humid over there. But other areas it's like drier or whatever. Some places it gets really cold, some places it doesn't. It kind of just depends on where you are in relation to everything. But I feel like Italy is pretty temperate. Like they all kind of felt the same to me, because I have a really hard time deciding, like figuring out if a city is a little different than another city, because I moved around a bunch at different times of the year. So I was just like, I don't know if it's cold there or not. What was interesting though is when I was in Como, it was kind of warm actually. Like it rarely snowed. I was there during the winter. Yeah, and it snowed once or twice. But like most of the time I was able to go out there with, like kind of like, I don't know, maybe like November weather, like about 30 degrees or something. Sometimes like 30 to 40 degrees, I feel, is like where Como was most of the time there. Sometimes it got pretty cold, but sometimes not. So that was kind of interesting. But I don't know what the pattern is there. They're all kind of the same. If you're in a bigger city, I think you'll find more people. Like imagine if you went to New York City, you're gonna find people that are really busy, that like just are trying to get to where they're going. Whereas like if you're in a smaller city, it's not so much. And I think that's what it is. It's the same way in Italy. Like bigger cities equal busier people, smaller cities equal busy people, but not really, even though we're all really busy.